Hey friends, and welcome to something a little bit different. We're running out of ideas. We've run out of ideas at Skinworkx, so we've had to resort to this beautiful face coming right at you in your home. I'm just joking. So, after a little chat with Jordan, we decided to do maybe a monthly/fortnightly new series on this channel where I'm answering and interacting directly with you beautiful people. So this new series is going to be an interactive video where I'm going to be talking about general news in the studio. We're going to go over some fun little videos, ideas, misconceptions, and answering any of your questions that you may have regarding tattooing. God, we're scraping the barrel for content. Anything that you want answering or anything you'd like to be featured on this series, then please let us know in the comment section below. So this video is all about the most popular tattoo myths and misconceptions. Time and time again when we get our customers in, we do get some strange questions as well as some relative questions that you might have heard floating around in the ether, and hopefully I'm going to go over some of these and we're going to answer them. And yeah, let's see where it leads. So if you do have any tattoo misconceptions that I've not covered in this video, then please let us know. Myth number 1, tattoos are not safe and they can lead to cancer. No, there is no evidence scientifically out there that proves or shows that getting a tattoo can lead to cancer. Now, there were this big myth recently on floating around, which we did get asked about, which was around tattoo inks and something in tattoo inks that can lead to cancer. Again, there is nothing out there scientifically that is pointing to this. There is an ingredient in tattoo ink that has been there since the beginning called isopropyl, and they're saying, or they're trying to ban that chemical in certain parts of the EU, but don't worry, again, there's been nothing pointing towards anything that leads to cancer when it comes in regards to tattoo ink. And again, if this ingredient gets banned, there's a ton more ingredients out there. There's inks out there for vegan inks, and there's technologies moved that far in advance that if that ingredient does get cancelled, another form of tattoo ink will be introduced. Myth number 2, the sun can fade your tattoo and it won't last. However, this does have some air of credibility towards it, as if you've ever had a tattoo, obviously we do advise keeping it out the sun. Essentially, when the sun is beaming down on your tattoo, it's like having laser treatment, but in a very, very slow process. It's not just going to go in the sun and then suddenly fade. Obviously, this is going to be a gradual process. So if you are smashing those sunbeds, obviously be aware that it can fade your tattoo. It won't get rid of it fully, but it can affect the healing process as well as fade your tattoo in the long term. So if you're wanting it to last nice and crisp in the long run, then obviously take care of your tattoo as you would your skin. You're not going to be going out there and putting factor 0 or cooking oil on your tattoo, and especially when you first had a brand new tattoo, the last thing you want to do, at least for the first few months, is go out and get in the sun or start going on the sunbeds, as some of those ladies and men like to do. You may as well get your tattoo, go upstairs and have it lasered off. Myth number 3, white ink hurts a lot more than other inks. This is a funny one. The ink itself is not designed to be more painful. Yes, some of the white inks can be a little bit thicker and require a little bit more punching in, but the main reason I believe that this hurts a little bit more is because you are going over an area that has already been done. So it's like cutting yourself and then letting it heal a little bit and then going back in and aggravating and cutting that cut again. So yes, the white inks can be a little bit more painful for that reason alone. Myth number 4, tattoos are completely permanent and can never be removed. Bit of a stupid myth, that one really, because a tattoo is permanent. Yes, tattoos are meant to be permanent. However, if they're not done correctly, they can over time fade or even lead to something which we call fallout, where the ink just comes out of the skin if they've not gone deep enough or something along those lines. Yes, tattoos can be removed. That's why we do laser tattoo removal here at Skinworkx. If you want to book in with Rebecca or wanting to lighten some of those tattoos, then please contact our page. Myth number 5, you must be 18 to get a tattoo. Yup, that's not a myth, that is absolutely correct. Here in the UK, the law states you must be over the age of 18 to get a tattoo. There's this whole myth around, which is another myth in itself, around you can get a tattoo at 16 with parental consent. This is just a wives' tale. This has never existed, and anybody that is tattooing anybody under the age of 18 should not be doing it. And also, surprisingly, if we get caught tattooing someone underage, we can end up on the same list as what paedophiles go on. Essentially, it is classed as abusing a minor. So yeah, it's a strange one. In a way, it's one of those debates, should it be allowed a bit younger with parental consent or should it not, as they can buy cigarette stuff. It's a whole political view in itself, which we might cover in another video and get a discussion both sides of the argument. Me personally, I think yes, it should be 18, if not increased a little bit, as I'm sure we've all got those shit tattoos that we wished we'd never got when we were younger. Myth number 6, you can drink alcohol before your tattoo. It's not advised, and definitely if you're going to turn up to the studio in a bit of a state, then you're definitely not going to be tattooing. You're going to ask to be rebooked for your appointment. We do not advise or advocate drinking alcohol even the night before, as this can thin your blood, and you don't want that to lead to infection. But no, don't be drinking alcohol, guys, before you tattoo. I'm sure we've all got drunk tattoos, but it might be safe. It's just a risk you don't want to take. Myth number 7, any tattooist can do any tattoo on the planet. This is a huge misconception, and I think now and again, obviously, we do get the customers in that just think that they can go somewhere else and that person will be able to do a portrait or anything like that. Obviously, when I were upcoming and learning, people were asking me to do portraits and stuff. But no, not every tattooist can do everything. They might have a wide spectrum of tattoos that they can do, and some specialize in specific areas. But no, guys, really do your homework on your tattooist. Contact them if you've got a couple of artists there, and they may have artists that are specific to one style of tattooing, which can help you. But no, don't just be going to any tattooist and thinking that you can get any tattoo that you like, such as an apprentice doing a portrait. Just not going to look good. Misconception number 8 is all tattooists are artists, or you must be able to draw, or do you have to be able to draw to be a tattooist? No, this is not the case. Obviously, me personally, I've always been able to draw quite good. Obviously, that did help in the long run, and it does help in the long run if you can draw. It is a completely different feel and kettle of fish. But no, there are a ton of great tattoo artists out there that have never picked up a pencil in their life, and they are the most phenomenal tattoo artists out there in the planet. Number 9, the tattoo needle is one single needle. This is a good one. This is an interesting one, because when we're tattooing our clients and they see us switching needles, they're asking why we need to switch all these needles. They thought it was just one needle. Now, tattooing has a massive range of tattoo needles that you can get, from liners to bug pins to magnum shaders to curved magnum shaders to diamond tips. There's just a lot. There's just a lot of tattoo needles out there, and these are designed specifically for certain different jobs. And one tattooist might use a different needle, or might use a completely opposite needle, even though it's in the same brand as like a 3 liner. Someone might use like a 0.03, and we might use a 0.025. And it's the same with the shading brushes, like your shading needles. Obviously you can get curved, which gives you a softer edge, but no, it is not one needle. Typically, here at Skinworkx, we use a spectrum of different needles, such as a 3 liner, which is essentially 3 needles into a point like this. And then obviously you can get things like 5 and 7 liners. With a 5 liner, it'd be 5 needles into a point like that. Whereas shaders, they are, depends on if you get the flat shaders or the magnum shaders. So let's say if it were a 10, I don't even know if they do a 10, I don't think they do. So if this were a 10, so you'd have 5 needles like this, and then 5 needles like sort of overlapping it just like this. Typically I use anything from a 9 magnum up to a 15 to a 23. So that is 23 needles actually going into your skin. So yeah, it's not just one needle, even though it's just the thing is classed as a needle. There's actually multiple needles at times going into your skin. Obviously the 3-liner being a thin line, going right up to stupid size liners where it can be like 14 needles and stuff like that. Generally they're not more painful. The sharper ones tend to be a little bit more painful. That varies from person to person, but no, tattoo needles are not just one single needle. And finally, myth number 10 is that tattoo needles get cleaned, or you can use the same needle on someone else. So funny enough, people have actually asked this in shop, is if they can use same needle on the partner, which is against the law and regulations and health and safety and all that sort of stuff. But no, if you walk into a tattoo shop and they are cleaning needles or using the same needle or attempting to use the same needle as what they've used on someone else, or if you see them scrubbing them down or putting them in Dettol, then pick up your bag and walk straight out. No, we do not. Every single time we tattoo someone new, the full thing is sterilized and a brand new needle will be introduced. And obviously all needles are sterilized in these nice little packets, and depending on what sort of needles they're using and where they're getting them from, they will come in some sort of sterilized, cleaned little packet. But no, we do not, and never have, never will use them unless you want to get AIDS like Jan did. But then again, he got the negative, so he slept with someone who had the positive AIDS, and he cancelled it out. Anyway, so guys, I hope you've enjoyed these top 10 tattoo misconceptions. If you have enjoyed it and you want to see some more misconceptions, or if there's some misconceptions you've heard and you want to be featured in the next video, then let us know in the comment section below. Obviously, we've still got the competition running where you can get, I think it's 4 hours free tattoo or win £300 cash just by being a subscriber and sharing our YouTube channel. So if you're not, make sure you are doing that, hitting that subscribe button. It takes 30 seconds if you've not got an account to create one. It's just an email address, boom, and you can win yourself some tattooing or cashola. So guys, thanks for watching, and we will catch you in our next video. Slightly awkward.